Sorry I'm late. This today it was weird app day apparently. I couldn't get into the restreamer, but it is what it is. Thankful to have it. Welcome all. I hope everyone's fine. What is going on over here? Okay, that'll do it. Uh I've been coughing for like the last 15 minutes for no reason. Like I've got something in my truth mind. Ew. Cha. All right, let's kick this thing off. Do we want to cut that on? We don't want to cut that on just yet. What time is sunset?
Sunset will be at 7:08 p.m. today.
7:08. Okay. The topic I think we're gonna tackle first. I should. It is what it is, man. I like to think out loud. It helps me figure out what's going on. Hey, William. Good to see you in the chat. I like to think out loud. Helps me kind of like solve the problem. Help me see like draw myself a picture in my mind's eye. This is my first coffee, not just of the day, but like what is it, Friday? This is the first time I had coffee in like a week. I've been trying to. I think I spoke about this yesterday. I've been trying to do less coffee, um, get up early, run my day, but then I begin to peter. Uh, and I like coffee, but the problem is, as I age, I hate to keep saying it, um, the milk is just making me phlegmy, so I don't want to feel phlegmy. So when I don't drink but see, then I have tea. Tea's not the same energy as coffee. And don't get me wrong, I like tea in the winter, and tea stays absolutely boiling ass hot and way longer than coffee does. The milk cools it off. I guess you could heat the milk and put it in the coffee, but that's a little too hipster Williamsburg for me. Um, I'm from the school of let's close this. I'm from the school of bodegas where you could go and get a giant ass cup of coffee for like a dollar, and then when it up to like $1.50, people would lose their mind. And then Starbucks came into effect and started charging people like 3 times the price for that much coffee. And then you get a regular size and they call it a grande. Then they charge you $7 for that. And the days of the $2 coffees was essentially over. Um, oh man, what is going on with my face here? Well, we all know that I'm paranoid about COVID. Um, and I feel good that I've been avoiding it. But if other people don't get their act together, every time I'm in a place and I clear my throat, excuse me, I feel like I need a good cough. Every time I try and clear my throat or sniffle or something, everybody looks around at you. Saw a woman on the. This is not funny. I saw a woman like out on the divider, I guess, asking for money at the red light with a little sign. There's a lot. There's too many of those people, by the way, with a little sign, and the sign said uh, on a on a cardboard written what looks to be like in pen, but it was thick enough that I could make it out. So maybe with like a fine tip marker, and right it said COVID, and then under it said homeless, hungry, please help. And I was like, I'm not trying to roll my window down to get, and I feel for you, but you got COVID on your, maybe leave that on. And she didn't have a mask on or anything. I was like, if I look, don't make me have to work that hard to help you. You see what I'm saying? If you just said, uh, now you can't even say COVID. It's running around the planet, right? You can't even say that. I mean, it was on her. It's beginning to dislodge. It was on her, like in bold print, like COVID, homeless, hungry, please help. I was like, I feel you, but I am not going anywhere near you. I'm not trying to roll my window down to give you a no. People are so ridiculous. People are nonsensical. A lot of people are raised by movies. All right. A lot of people's parents did not care. And now, they're turning 15, they're turning 18, they're turning 25. Right? And there's a lot of other people who parents put a lot of work into them and they will collide into each other. Like this missing, what do they call influencer? This TikTok YouTube blogger, right? Your children are stained glass windows. Somebody will show up with a fucking rock and throw it right through there. Mm. So, wow, yeah. We're streaming to both platforms now. I hope. I should check because, like I said, it took me 10 minutes to get in here. Why is that here? I thought I closed that. All right. First of all, let's close this. And then we'll go over here and see if I've got incense burning in the other room, which is an excellent way to start a fire. It's not an incense as it's a stick of sage. Okay, I think we're doing everything properly, so we're just gonna leave well enough alone and get back to what we were doing. Put this here. You know what? Let me check on that. It's always good to check on incense. All right, it's almost going out, which is good, I guess. So, this is a very interesting camera angle. Whoever did this, watch this. So, right, this is I always gotta remember it's backwards. All right, so this is, let's raise this about where I'd like it, right? But that has too much sky, and now I have too much. But this way, I have too much desk. All right, but that's fine. That's fine. But notice when I get rid of this, the whole image throws off the. No, it doesn't actually. So where's the problem? The problem is the not the the recording image and the broadcast image is two different not frame rates, two different not oh good lord. Uh One's larger than the other in a weird way. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. Um we've been streaming for a little bit. Let's get into it. So I wanted to look up good lord, my freaking mind is a mess. Coffee is something else. Yeah, let's talk about this drone strike. A couple of good things happened. The DOJ is gonna fight that Sackler deal, which they should. And this airstrike that killed 10 people that they said was the bad guys who blew up all these Marines. You compound the bad thing, like when you just a lot is going on here, right? So, I mean, if you want to talk about the state of the globe right now, uh, as it stands with the West, let's put this up. As it stands with the West, it's France is mad at the U.S., the U.K., and Australia, right? And Australia over a missile deal, not a missile deal, a nuclear submarine boat, which is essentially a boat a giant boat deal and a nuclear weapons deal. Why are we proliferating more nuclear weapons? I mean, what is going on with the American foreign policy? So France then picks up its envoy, its ambassadors from the UK and from was it from the UK and from Australia, but not from here, not from the United States, because we're too big a fish to fuck with. France, US, UK, Australia. Let's put all those up as right. Darkly, U.S. defense partnership with the UK and Australia after the French blast. Oh, let's see what that's. What does that? Brutal what? As the brutal decision. The French are so theatrical. Brutal in quotes. Who called it that? First of all, who wrote this? Megan Vasquez and Arlette Saenz. Megan with an Aegan. Okay. American foreign. Where's the one with the bullet points? I'm like, oh man, look at this wind coming in here. American officials are defending a new deal to provide Australia with a nuclear-powered submarine after French officials expressed frustration over the agreement effects on an existing multi-billion-dollar defense deal. The effort to provide Australia with nuclear-powered submarines, a major step toward countering China. So the counter is the nuclear weapon. So we can, okay, let's do this thing. Fuck it. As President Joe Biden works to build an international backing for his approach to Beijing, look, this is very simple. Do you want to live in a world where America is the world's policeman or China is the world's policeman? That's what I'd say. All this French bullshit is bullshit, excuse me. As President Joe Biden built backing for his approach to Beijing. What exactly is his approach to Beijing? Because I haven't seen it yet. I haven't even heard about it. It's part of the new trilateral partnership among the United States, Australia, and United Kingdom, dubbed AUKUS. AUKUS. Okay, AUK is Auckland, New Zealand. No, that's New Zealand. Wait, where is this? This is Australia. What is Australia's? Isn't it AUS? All right. How do you abbreviate Australia? Why is the word abbreviate so fucking long? Why is Australia called Oz? That's something to do. The abbreviation for Australia is AU or AUS. All right, so I get it. So it's clever. AU for Australia, UK for United Kingdom, and of course US because fucking we don't fit with anybody. Okay. European leaders have conveyed varying levels of dismay. Really? And feelings of exclusion over the deal. Here's the problem. We are not a European city, right? We're not a European country. So the Europeans, man, sometimes they act as one voice against us, right? To show that they don't do everything Americans do. And then they squabble and they cry about everything. I mean, how many people are in all of the whole of Europe? Didn't we do this? Didn't we count this before? Right? Wasn't it something like, I want to say 800 million. How many people in EU, ROPE, how many people in Europe? 746 million. What did I say? 800 million. Europe is not that big. And right above Europe is Russia. And right next to Russia, Russia is big, but it's mostly like, right? So, but right next to Russia is China, which is really big and has 1 billion people. Things to do. And we love Europe. They got to fix their shit, though. Seriously. They like to fucking throw shade at us like colicky children. And I don't like it. We're going to cut this on. and continue talking shit about the Europeans and the English and the French. As I hope that all my European, English, and French visitors let's close this. Like and subscribe, baby. Yeah, I mean, this is what it is, man. You can pick your friends. What is it? You can pick your God lets you pick your friends to make up for not being able to pick your family. That was one of them that I've heard, right? So it's the idea of you know how people's societies are. You can't love it one minute and then spit on it the next minute while you. So yeah, I mean, this whole man, I don't even know why we're reading this. This is already pissing me off. We're in like paragraph 4. I mean, the history is that not the European, but the French helped us out a lot with training and all this stuff to become a nation of our own. And our revolution essentially was the end of the British Empire, right? Followed quickly by like oh boy, revolutions in Africa and I want to say India, Cali in Australia, right? They all ended up Canada, all ended up kind of like being their own country, which is great. Uh we're friends with the British now, which is great. But I mean, this whole temper tantrum while China's on the march, it's kind of the shit that I don't think we need. All right, so let's start this over so I can stop whining. And I'll finish drinking my coffee and we'll get to the bottom of this. American officials are defending this. Of course, they're defending this. We're going to go the Afghanistan story too. Just looks like we've got bad policies for the last few weeks. Let's start with our defending a new deal to provide Australia with a nuclear-powered submarine. Do we really need to read all of this again? Because I talked my face off a lot about a lot of this. We got to hear. European leaders have conveyed varying levels of dismay and feelings of exclusion over the deal. One European official indicated they were completely unaware of the agreement. Why would you be aware of the agreement? It's not about you. And it has nothing to do with the United Nations. And the French officials angered that France now stands to lose the equivalent of 65 billion US dollars in an existing deal to provide Australia with convinced new submarine, said the US showed a lack of coherence by signing on to the agreement. A lack of coherence? A lack of understanding? I just want to make sure I've been seeing this right. Oh, good Lord. There's a movie called Coherence. Okay, maybe that's what the problem is. Merriam-Webster's. All right, here we go. A systematic or logical connection of systematic or logical connection or consistency. The quality of state of cohering. Oh, so it like all right, it's like cohesion. All right, coherence. That's one definition. Integration of diverse elements, relationship of values, integration, right? A logical connection, systematic integration, the property of being. I thought, no, well, incoherent is all right, fine. A lack of coherence, right? Incoherent. So they're saying we were disjointed. We were okay by signing on to the agreement. Still, a senior administration official said top American officials had communicated with their counterparts in France about the new agreement before it was announced. Yeah, but this is see, this is one of those buggy sentences. The American a senior administration official said top Americans had communicated with their counterparts in France. Right? We told you before the news became a public thing. But that means that the deal was done. So the deal is done this Monday. We're going to release it Friday, but we're going to tell you guys Tuesday because you're our allies. The deal is done, right? That's this sentence is just this sentence shows political nonsense. It's a nonsense sentence. It sounds like it's well, I guess it is telling you something I didn't want you told, but it sounds like a weighty sentence, but it really isn't. I will leave it to our Australian partners to describe why they sought this new technology, the officials added. Australian Defense Minister Peter Dutton said in a news conference on Thursday that the decision to choose the American nuclear powered submarine over France's conventional diesel submarine is based on what the best interest of diesel? What is the best interest of our national security? They lost out on 65 billions, right? So this tells me there was a whole bunch of people and planners and right in this sector. I mean, yeah, who's fucking diesel? Really? You got a diesel submarine? Oh my gosh. All right. Doesn't argue that the French, I thought everybody had even conventional submarines run on nuclear power, right? I'm down. I mean, they're not all nuclear armed subs, aren't they? What do submarines run on? I know it's not gasoline, and I know it's not fucking oil or some shiz. What do submarines run on? Nuclear submarines and aircraft carriers are powered by onboard nuclear reactors. That's what I'm talking about. An onboard nuclear reactor. Atoms of the nuclear reactor split with released energy as heat. This heat is used to create high pressure steam. The steam turns propulsion turbines that provide the power to turn the propeller. Okay. That's what I thought everybody was using. How does a EISE diesel submarine work? Come on, spell check. Yep, we are all getting stupider. The sub must surface or cruise just below the surface using a snorkel to run the diesel engine. Once the batteries are fully charged, the sub can head underwater. The battery power electrical motors that drive the propeller. The batteries powers an electric motor that drives the propeller. Battery operation is the only way a diesel sub can actually submerge. The sub must surface. All right. Just below the surface using a snorkel to run the diesel engine. So you have to surface to use the diesel engine, but the diesel engine is the only thing that lets you sink. I'm confused as F on that. If I want to sink, why do I have to go up to charge? Shouldn't the batteries be? How? Oh, that is a really good question. How long can the diesel submarine stay underwater? Submarines generally stock a 90-day supply of food, so they can spend 3 months underwater. The diesel powered submarine, not now, not not now used by the United States Navy, had a limit of several days submerged. Okay, hold on. I got one more question. How long? Oh, how long does a nuclear sub stay underwater? Limit can submarine say 3 months. Nuclear sub says on the water. How deep can a how long submarine stay submerged? 111 days. Okay, it's a little over 3 months. The longest submerged and unsupported patrol made public 111 days. HMS submarine. Okay. 1982. All right. 3 months. Nuclear submarines that can remain underwater for 25 years. But yeah, but see, people, yeah, that makes sense. Because people, even if it can stay underfoot, nobody wants to do that. People want fresh air on their skin. Am I right? The new agreement came up. The new agreement came ahead of Biden's scheduled meeting with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson next week at the White House. He doesn't travel anywhere, right? He just came back from California uh, with two officials confirmed on Thursday, which two officials confirmed on Thursday. Too many people speaking off record. You can be making up all kind of crap. Several foreign leaders are expected to visit the U.S. for the annual United Nations General Assembly in New York next week. But many leaders coming to the U.S. for the assembly are still waiting to hear if they will get a session with Biden. Huh? I didn't know that it was. Oh, I thought you had to meet with everybody, but now it's like, are you important enough to meet with the President of the United States in America at the UN General Assembly? I guess that makes sense. Nobody should be able to meet with the President of the United States because they want to. Ooh, coffee. You know what? I once quit coffee for a very, I think like 3 or 4 years. Might have been longer. And I was off this year for like 2 or 3 years. I've only been back to drinking it for about a year and a half, maybe. This is what I mean. I fall in and out of things. Like the president attempted to thread the needle of European diplomacy and navigate post-Brexit world. Has some loyal allies suggesting Biden's actions have ignored their needs or have been in line with those of his pro-nationalist predecessor. Oh, really? So it's either do you if you don't do it our way, you're Donald Trump. This is the thing I hate about a lot of these fucking people. I mean, they'll take shots at Donald. They should have did it while he was in office, right? And then everybody here applauds him. They're still taking shots at the president of the United States like he's their waiter. I mean, people really do need to fix their whole head. Their whole mindset on politics is a little. It can be a little goofy, a little loopy. Let's do something about this fight. It's a little harsh. There you go. Why didn't anybody tell me? Good lord. Um, let's go. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. The new agreement comes by the several foreign leaders if they get a session with Biden. The president attempted to thread the needle. Former President Donald Trump. France has trained its ire about the agreement on Australia. Yeah, because you can't really fuck with us or England. I mean, we do a ton of business with you, and England is right across the channel, quite frankly, right? And America is a giant marketplace you want to be a part of. You're not going to cut your nose off to spite your face. You're mad at losing 63 billion, and you're not going to try and lose a trillion because of it. France has trained its eye about the agreement on Australia, with French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian calling it a real stab in the back. See, overly dramatic, baby. Um, but he also had strong word for the U.S. saying this brutal, that's the word, quoted. This brutal unilateral decision resembles a lot of what Trump is doing. Le Drian also released a joint statement with French Armed Forces Minister Florency Parly. Okay. Wednesday saying the American chose to exclude a European ally and partners such as France from structuring partnerships with Australia. Really? Did we do that? See, this is what I mean about soap opera shit. I mean, you never really get oh my god. I get people being mad, but now you're like, oh, man, it just sounds like more of the same, right? So they'll likely try and make up for it on some other end. Okay, well, you'll buy more of all this, uh, and lower the tariffs on that, and your imports of this, and maybe we'll feel better about it. Oh, and give us a White House meeting, and come to so and so, and that's how politics is done. And then some high official will go over here and say, "Man, I'm in France, and I love French fruit and French people, and this is great, great, great." And then it will be all back to aces, as they used to say in the 30s, right? The American choice to exclude a European ally and partner such as France from structuring a partnership with Australia at a time when we were facing unprecedented challenges in the Indo-Pacific region, whether in terms of our values or in terms of respect for multilateralism based on the rule of law, shows a lack of coherence that France can only note and regret. Got that one right. You can only remember, like, not even note it, just like, okay. Uh, yeah, note it and regret it. Sorry. But this is war. This is war posturing, though. And who's in the region? Australia, right? French officials also scrapped an upcoming reception at the French embassy in Washington, D.C., and toned down celebrations to commemorate a Revolutionary War naval victory by the French that helped the U.S. to win its independence. We're still celebrating shit from 300 years ago. It's really important, right? Civil War stuff. The embassy said the celebration had been made more sober, and a reception plan for Friday. Okay, a reception plan for Friday. They act like we killed somebody. Their reception plan for Friday at the ambassador's residence to mark the 240th anniversary of the Battle of Capes. The Battle of Capes has been called off. A reception on a frigate in Baltimore has also been downsized. Okay, what is a frigate? We know it's a. Do they say it's a boat or a ship? I don't know what the proper Navy lingo is. Ooh, that is a big ass boat. Let's look at this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'd like to take a ride on one of those. It looks impressive AF, right? Oh wait. Hope. Sorry. Let me get me out of there. Look at that. That looks pretty good. I'm about to get an award on a Navy ship and be around all the fancy muckety mucks and sip. What do they sip over there? They're probably not whiskey. No, they probably sip whatever they want, right? I can sip whiskey while they have champagne or whatever, right? And then before you know it, you're one of those people lying on TV. A reception on a frigate in Baltimore has been downsized. A senior, it's a dinghy, not the boat. I'm assuming the boat hasn't been downsized. So what? You disinvited people? Also has been downsized. Less reefs. I don't understand how you downsize this. Less. I mean, a senior French official told CNN, who said the changes were to make people more comfortable. What does that mean? To make people more comfortable? They were going to be uncomfortable, huh? I don't understand. So you're going to do all this pop and splendor and over a one war, but since you got a bad deal and an arms deal, how does toning everything down make it more uncomfortable? I don't. People were going to be uncomfortable with all the celebration. It's not like anybody died. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki dismissed some of. Yeah, okay, good job. She dismissed it. Yeah. When asked what Biden thinks of foreign minister's comments, Psaki said during the White House press briefing on Thursday, the president doesn't think much about it. Oh, that's very snotty of her. The president focuses on maintaining and continuing our close relationship with leaders in France, with the United Kingdom, with Australia, and achieving a global objective, which includes security in the Indo-Pacific. What his focus is, and we'll continue to work toward a productive, constructive partnership with the French, Psaki said. A productive, constructive partnership. This is not constructive. See, that's the magic word in that sentence. She emphasized that it was Australia's decision to pursue the nuclear submarine technology, which to me makes fucking sense. Diesel. She emphasized that it was Australia's decision to pursue the nuclear submarine technology and said the U.S. and France continue to be important partners. The Secretary of State, Antony Blinken similarly sought to downplay the rift between the U.S. and France, stressing the importance of Paris as a vital partner in the Indo-Pacific and around the world. I want to emphasize that there is no regional divide separating the interests of our Atlantic and our Pacific partners, he said in remarks to the State Department on Thursday. Blinken said the U.S. welcomes European countries to play an important role in the Indo-Pacific, adding that France, in particular, is a vital partner on this and so many other issues stretching back generations. And we want to find every opportunity to deepen our transatlantic cooperation in the Indo-Pacific and around the world. Wow, that is just mwah. That is cream of the just yeah. You managed to tell everybody in a paragraph, we're all homies. Everybody needs to fucking calm down, right? You're over there. The Northern and you're over in the Indo-Pacific, and everybody's good. It's one bad deal. Everybody just needs to calm the fuck down. Everybody's vital partner. EU Foreign Affairs Chief Joseph Borrell said in a news conference. Wait, where's the part where they recalled their understand the French government must at this point, and Minister Francis EU Affairs said in the news conference Thursday that the European Union was just made aware of the alliance and had not been consulted. Why? However, he stressed the importance of the timeline of this announcement and urged European for cooperation for coordinated presence in the region. Of course, I do understand the extent for which the French government must be disappointed, and Minister of the Foreign Affairs and Defense. I know we will all be aware and pressing for an increase of our presence in the Indo-Pacific to defend our interests there and our values, he added. Burley also said the EU is happy to cooperate on defense with the UK, but there was not a lot of interest from their side. Here's your problem. You tell one thing to the EU, and some of them are closer to China than you want them to be, like fucking Germany, right? So you got problems with leaks. So this is one of the things that people are concerned about with the EU. It's not like the UN, right? You share technology and all this shit. Some people don't do stuff. Some people don't have economies. I mean, they tried to make it like in America, but here's the thing about America. We're all under one flag and one president and one governing body. And they're not. They're under all these leaders and kings and prime ministers, and it gets a little complicated when you want shit to work. So we'll be happy if they want to participate on this coordinated presence. Nothing will prevent us from willing. Nothing will prevent us from willing to cooperate with the UK if they want. You need to. Who said this? Is this guy? Is he in? Burrell also said the EU. Good Lord. Joseph Borrell, EU Foreign Affairs Chief. Joseph Borrell said in a news conference. EU Foreign Affairs Chief. See, oh, good Lord. God dang it. I hate this scroll button. Here's the problem. When nobody knows who this guy is. EU. Where from? Is he French? Is he German? Is he, Hungarian? He's like, I'm about to say Nigerian. Sorry. EU Foreign Affairs Chief already said on a news conference, maybe of course not understand which French government was disappointed. Blah blah blah. Wrote said the EU is happy to cooperate with the defense with the UK, but there was not a lack of. Okay, so we'll be happy if they want to participate on this coordinated presence. Nothing will prevent us from willing to cooperate with the UK if they want. You need to dance the tango, but from our part, we are ready to dance, he said. So weird. See, that right there is social. Like, dance is what you tell somebody to do in a Western when you punk them out, right? So it's not a good thing you want to be doing, but I get the phrase. A U.S. official on Thursday defended U.S. decision to pursue the new partnership along with working with traditional groups of allies. Our administration is focused on revitalizing alliances and partnerships to support the rule-based international order. That means both strengthening long-standing historic ties, including with our NATO allies and the EU, as well as working through new configurations. Nice word. New configurations such as Quads or AUKUS. AUKUS. Quad. There's three of you. Why would you call it Quad? Australia, UK, and the US. Would you call it Quad? The official said the network alliance partnership is our greatest strength, and strength has and that's necessary to the. Oh, good Lord. Let's try that again. This network of alliances and partnerships is our greatest source and strength, and necessary to deal effective with 21st century challenges. Something's wrong with the sentence. Yeah, something was left out of that last sentence. The network of alliances and partnerships is our greatest source and strength, and necessary to deal effectively with the 21st century. Okay, all right. Well, maybe it's me. Written by 900 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people wrote this. Yeah, I guess they all got a paragraph. Good Lord. I heard they recalled the ambassador. Of course, China is furious. China wants to do to Taiwan what the Russians did to the Ukraine. They just want to invade it and take it over. They've had their eye on Taiwan since forever. Here it is. France recalls ambassadors to the. Oh no, they didn't. No, it wasn't to the U.S. and Australia. Not the UK. Yeah, let's read this one. That haircut is ridiculous. Um. Oh my god. All right. Oh my goodness. The French government has immediately recalled its ambassador to the U.S. for consultation. Oh, okay. In response. All right. So they didn't really recall him. They wanted him to come home so they could talk to him about a new plan of what they should be doing. But yeah, this right. Well, I guess it is come home for is. But yeah, this implies a lot more drama than what the first sentence says. The French government has immediately recalled its ambassador to the U.S. for consultation in response to recently announced national security partnership with the United Kingdom and Australia. Let's click on that. What does this say? Yeah, we just read that. Philippe Etienne, the French ambassador to the U.S., confirmed the news when reached for comment. In a statement, Jean-Yves Le Drian, the French Minister of Europe and Foreign Affairs, said Friday that the move was made at the request of President Emmanuel Macron. The extraordinary decision reflects the exceptional seriousness of the announcements made on September 15 by Australia and the United States. Le Drian said the abandonment of ocean-class submarine project that Australia and France have been working on since 2016, 6 years ago. 5 years ago, excuse me, an announcement of a new partnership with the United States aimed at studying the possibility of future cooperation on nuclear-powered submarine. Hold on, wait a minute. The abandonment of the ocean class submarine project that Australia and France have been working on since 2016, and the announcement of a new partnership with the United States aimed at studying the possibility of future cooperation, studying the possibility of future cooperation. That's what got me. Okay, studying the can we possibly work? We're gonna have a we're going to get together and we're going to run the numbers and we're going to do a study to see if we can work together in the future. And then when the study that we spent $500 million on says yes, then we're going to start working together in the future. Is that the way that works? The announcement of a partnership with the United States and aimed at studying the possibility of future cooperation, studying the possibility of future cooperation. A nuclear-powered submarine constitutes unacceptable behavior among allies and partners. All right, God, maybe I'm getting dumber in my old age. The announcement of a new partnership with the United States aimed at studying the possibility of future cooperation on nuclear-powered submarines constitutes unacceptable behavior among allies and partners. The consequences affect the very concept we have of our alliances, our partnership, and the importance of the Indo-Pacific for Europe. It's believed to be the first time the French have resorted to such a move in modern times, the French official told CNN. The New York Times was first to report the news. The French government said earlier this week that it felt betrayed when Australia pulled out of the existing multi-billion-dollar defense deal, agreeing instead to attain nuclear-powered submarines through a new deal with the United States and the United Kingdom. Why do we need the United Kingdom as part of this? See, this whole thing, all right. So it was France and Australia. And then I don't know who made the move, but it looks like It looks like America could have done this without the UK. So why is the UK in this? And I'm pretty sure the UK could have, which has nuclear weapons, could have done this without America. So why both of us? It's part of a new trilateral partnership among United States, Australia, and United Kingdom. France stands to lose the equivalent of 65 billion US dollars from an existing deal to provide Australia with conventional diesel-powered submarines. The canceled deal with France, a major global weapons exporter. France is a major global weapons exporter. Tiny ass France is expected to make a significant economic impact on the French defense sector. Significant. Oh, that's what it is. They're crying because it's a bigger hit than I thought. Oh, good lord. The French stand to lose 65 billion. The canceled deal with French global weapons exporters expect to make a significant economic impact on the French defense sector. France also stands to lose out strategically in the Indo-Pacific, where the country holds significant interests. Yeah. There's a lot of colonies over there that they're still making money off of. I mean, remember, not a lot of shit grows in Europe, right? Pineapples and fucking bamboo or whatever else you got, right? Giant wood forest. Look at the Amazon. Look at like the Great. We're using a lot of it up. So I mean, and France has what, wine and cheese, right? And apparently weapons. That's their defense sector. So war is good for the French. Is that the case? We have a giant weapon sector too, but we fight everybody, and France only fights in Africa. uh, on Thursday, after nuclear power submarine deal with the, well, also France just killed the guys who killed those four Rangers like 4 years ago, which I had questions about then. Why are only four Marines driving through the countryside full of terrorists? Like this is an Armor 3 video game scenario, right? And then they found them all dead with their shoes missing, all their equipment, but mostly, because shoes, they don't have sheep, right? They don't have technology. On Thursday, after the nuclear power submarine deal with the US and UK was announced, Australia formally announced it would be withdrawing from its previous contract for conventional submarines with France. The deal with Paris had been in works for years. Australia previously planned to acquire 12 conventional attack class submarines from the French shipbuilder Naval Group, which successfully beat out competing German and Japanese bids in 2016. U.S. officials on Friday defended the deal, and both the Americans and the Australians have indicated that the French government wasn't blindsided by the reneging of the original contract, saying high-ranking French officials were made aware of the decision by the Australian government. A senior administration official also said, we've heard that, right? Also said top American officials had communicated with their counterparts in France about the new agreement before and after it was announced. I will leave it to our Australian partner to describe why they sought this new technology. That's a shot at their equipment, why they saw, right? The people who wanted better technology came to us, so I'll leave them to tell you that. The official added, Australia's defense minister Peter Dutton said in a news conference on Thursday that the decision to choose the American nuclear-powered submarine over France's conventional diesel submarine is based on what is in the best interest of our national security. Biden attempted to thread the needle prior to recalling French ambassador. Yeah, we just read this paragraph was just in the story we read earlier. Biden's attempt to thread the needle of European diplomacy to navigate a post-Brexit world has left some loyal allies suggesting Biden's actions have ignored their need to have, or their need or have world have left some loyal allies suggesting Biden's actions have ignored their needs or have been in line with those of his pro-national former president. Right. This was in the other. That line was in the other story. Oh, CNN's Arletta Sands wrote this, who also was a contributor on the other story. See what you get when you read everything. With these pro-national presidents, I'm sorry. Prior to recalling, the French ambassador Le Drian, is response to the deal, had strong words for the U.S., saying this brutal and unilateral decision resembles a lot of what Trump is doing. Biden is scheduled to meet with Trump isn't doing anything. I mean, he's golfing. Biden is scheduled to meet with the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson next week at the White House. Two officials confirmed on CNN on Thursday, and several foreign leaders are expected to visit the U.S. from the annual United Nations General Assembly in my hometown of New York, baby bubba. But many leaders coming to the U.S. for the assembly are still waiting to hear if they will get a session with the president, right? And this session with the president line was halfway through this thing. So it looked like somebody, look at this. You could write this out. This is about 3 pages of reporting. So then you come over here and then you lump it in with this one. And you got 5 people writing. That's not 3 pages. It's like 5 pages. This might be 7 pages. Did we read this? Yeah, we did. Related article. Biden overruled Blinken and Austin's attempt to extend U.S. presence in Afghanistan. Okay. No, we didn't read this. United Nations. Okay, we didn't read this. The United States military investigation into the deadly Kabul drone strike on a vehicle in August has found it killed 10 civilians and the driver, and that the vehicle targeted was likely not a threat associated with ISIS-K. Announced General Frank McKenzie, the top general of U.S. Central Command at the Pentagon on Friday. McKenzie told reporters that the strike, which he said killed 7 children, was a mistake, quote unquote, was a mistake, and offered an apology. Oh, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I know war is hell, but should war really be sloppy? I mean, in World War II, there was a ton of death, but the amount of civilians was stupid, right? This is why in war, and I mean, you don't fight them in arenas, right? You fight them out here in the world where we civilians are. That's why they have, like, you can't just run through a place and kill up the civilians. $25 million people. Australian military, a million military personnel died in Australia. I'm talking about people. 75 is a lot of people. This sounds like they've got a list of everybody, key points. World War II was deadliest. Many civilians died because of deliberate genocidal massacre, mass bombing, disease, and starvation, right? This civilians died because of deliberate genocide. The Jews, right, shoving people in the ovens, all this bullshit. Massacres. There was a ton of like Americans, I hate to say it, committing atrocities, Russians committing atrocities against civilians, like, mass bombings, right? People would fly over London, for God's sakes, and drop bombs on the entire city of just people. Diseases, like once people are rotting in places, you get diseases. And like, not everybody lives on a farm, so you're going to get starvation and all this shit. The Soviet Union lost 27 million people during the war, including 8.7 million military and 19 million civilians. So you lost twice as many civilians as military personnel. That's the crazy shit. Germany sustained 5.3 million military losses, mostly on the Eastern Front during the final battle. That's when you were fighting for your very fucking lives. I mean, literally, the life of your nation. I mean, 5.3 million people. On the total number of deaths in World War II, approximately 85% were Allied side and 15% were on the Axis side. Wow, really? No wonder we can't stop fucking talking about it. After they crunched the number, they were like, hey, 75 million people died. They lost 50 million and we only lost 25 million. It's something like that. Hey, look, we won. And it didn't happen on our soil, quote unquote. I'm looking at us Americans and not so much anybody else because all of Europe was fucking on fire. I grew up watching those things in black and white on TV. They would try and sell them to you when I was a little kid. Time Life brings you, all this war shit. Little kid didn't realize that war was 30 years old, and those 20-year-olds were now like maybe 50 and 60. Now they're all gone, right? Not all gone, but I think the oldest one is 113. I saw him in the paper today. With many of those deaths caused by war crimes committed by Germans and Japanese forces in occupied territories, Japanese just ran through the place like being ridiculous. Nazi Germany, as part of a deliberate program of extermination, systematically killed 11 million people, 6 million Jews, but they killed a shit ton of, there were blacks and jazz people, white gays, right, who weren't Jewish, who were Catholics or whatever. There was some blacks there who weren't there anymore. There were gypsies that killed like 5 million fucking gypsies. Yeah, it was an ugly thing. You read about it in books, but if you try and put your mind there, how would I get my family out? What would I do? You wouldn't be able to go a 5-minute drive. You wouldn't be able to drive, and a 5-minute drive is like a 20-minute walk. You wouldn't be able to walk there. You'd leave, and God forbid you run up to what it's like? It's like Afghanistan is now. Just everybody running around with guns. They'll claim you're an infidel or a harlot, or and just do you in. Don't these guys get real good looks at the intended victims with the drones? You'd think, right? I mean, it's 10 people. Wow, an apology. The strike was taken in earnest. Well, who's going to say the strike was taken on a whim, right? The strike was taken in earnest to believe that it would prevent an imminent threat to our force. It doesn't matter what you thought, right? I thought he had a gun, yeah, but he didn't. We thought he had, but he didn't. And his whole family is gone now. Wow. The strike was taken in earnest, in the earnest belief that it would prevent an imminent threat to our forces and the evacuees at the airport. But it was a mistake, and I offer my sincere apologies, he said. McKenzie added that he is fully responsible for this strike and this tragic outcome. Here's the magic of this sentence. The only person who can fire him is who? Joe Biden. So yeah, I throw myself, fire me. I will hand in my resignation. No, really? No? All right, I'm just going to keep it moving. Now, if it would be one thing if you say, I feel fully responsible and I'm resigning, that takes responsibility. So yeah, I hear a lot of this. I'm just kind of like, the theatrics of a lot of this is just, it's saying all the things. No, well, the sun is going down. Let's close this. It's saying all the right shit while doing none of the right shit. Good Lord. Thank you, Weird Window. I take full responsibility for this strike and this tragic outcome. The Pentagon announcement will likely fuel more criticism, you think, of the Biden administration, chaotic evacuation. And this is what it's about. It's about this. It's about this evacuation, right? It's not about staying there. It's not about, we should, Afghan girls not being able to wear dresses. That's not our business. It really isn't, right? You told these people, start living like the West, it'll be fine. And then you let a generation, not even a generation, 20 years of them grow up there, right? Some people believe a generation is 20 years. I believe a generation is about 30, right? A generation used to be younger. A generation is the age distance between you and your parents, right? And so that's about when do most people begin to have kids generally? Right now, it's later. So I would say that's about 27, so maybe 30 years. In other places like this, it's different. People start having babies in their early 20s, right? So, I mean, people born on September 11th there grew up under freedom, but there was a ton of car bombings every place. And now, I mean, God bless these women. They're like, I'm going to wear my dress. No, you won't. They're going to show up at your house and murder you on the street. And that's going to make 1,000 other women go, yeah, you know what? We're not going to do. They shot that young girl, Alyssa Musasefa. Oh my God, I totally butchered that. I apologize. And they gave her a Nobel Peace Prize. They shot that girl in the head because she wanted to go to school with the boys. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Flew her out the country, and now she's a globally famous, you know, activist. Can't go home to Afghanistan, but somebody should have. Yeah, that's on your society. Shame on our society for telling you your society was just like ours, but our society took a long fucking time to get here. And we still have people being ridiculous with racist and bullshit and sexism, right? Don't hate these guys. Get real good looks at the end. Yeah, let's put that up there because that's a good point. I mean, they've got those cameras that can reach a license plate, right? They don't skimp on the cameras. They're the fucking military. I just think I mean, they said they filed them for 12 hours when they released that statement, though. So somebody lied in the statement. The other day, the gymnast Christopher Ray felt bad. He should have resigned or got fired. The other day with the gymnast. Oh, we might have to look this up. I don't know this story. We're gonna get into that one after this one. Chaotic evacuation handling. Do we even need to read the rest of this? This one was fucking long too. This is a consolidation too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people wrote this one. Yeah. What do you even fucking say? Depending on announced, the Pentagon has maintained that at least one ISIS-K facility and 3 civilians were killed in what Chairman of Joint Chiefs General Mark Miley previously called a righteous strike. That dude is wrong all over the place. On the compound on August 29th, the compound. You mean his house? They all have yards, right, with these giant walls up. I guess every house is a compound. But the word compound makes it sound so sinister, right? I mean, they killed Osama bin Laden in his compound. Maybe it was just his front yard. What if I called like the place that I shot you like a drug den in the newspaper, but when you found out it was just a regular old suburban home and they found that you had weed in there and they called that a drug, right? And then you're like, wait a minute, that wasn't what they said it was. The investigator released Friday found that all those killed in the residential compound were civilians. In the lead up to the strike, drone operators surveilled the courtyard for up to 4 to 5 minutes. In that time, a male driver left the vehicle. One child was parking the vehicle, and the other children were present in the car and the courtyard. So he let his kid park the car, and all the others got in to play in the car. And then a drone came out of the clear blue sky. And the next thing you know, they're all gone. Look, Hellfire missiles, man. Let's look. I've done this before. Let's look up Hellfire missiles. There are pictures of Hellfire missiles fucking evaporating people in Iraq. I mean, Jesus Christmas. They burn at like 2,000, and they're it's wide. I mean, they like them because you can drop one, and the blast zone is about as wide as as an intersection, as a square. As you pull up to the light, you look sidewalk, as a square intersection that we all drive through every day. And that's about as big as the boom area is. So it'll wipe out your car, your shit, the dudes next to you. But if you're outside that thing, you may get hit with shrapnel. You'll hear the giant boom. But if you're not within that 60-foot radius of what did I just say? An intersection, like you're out of it. So this is why the neighbors didn't like go up in flames. Yeah, and then they fire them out of these fucking things, which will eat your lunch. They're up at 200, like 20,000 feet. You can't see them in the clear blue sky. You can't see them. And they fly at night. They got the best of all kind of shit. Even your bomb has a camera on it. Man, look at this one. Juicy. Let me get myself out of there. Look at this thing. Oops, all right, why we just make it its own. Look at that. I mean, wow. Look at that. There's a bunch of them under there. Oh, man. Look at this camera. This is a triangulation camera, right? And then when you drop it, this is the leading camera, so you can see the strike and as well as observe the strike. They watched them for 5 minutes. Hellfire missiles. I mean, Jeebus Christmas. Over a hippie variant, manned fixed-wing patrol boat, or yikes. They put experimental platform. The system has been tested for use on Humvees. Test shots have also been fired from a C-130. Wow, really? They love this thing. They're trying to stick this thing on everything. Look, all the West has them. We invent them, we sell them to everybody. Come get some. Oh my sweet Jesus. Do we even want to look at this? Let's look at it. Longbow versus Outlaw. How long is this video? Say goodnight, Gracie. That is about the end of it. Look at this thing. A million ways to see it go. Do we see what it hit? Woo! Don't stand behind it. Death in a box. I'm telling you. Let's go back one. I was looking for the temperature. 995 miles per hour, and it can travel 1,061. Well, what is this? Is this kilometers? It's okay. Mach 1. So wait, hold on. Where's the range? Yeah, 900 is what's? Oh, good lord, wings drop from. Here's what I'm looking for: 6 miles. Right, so you can fire this thing 6 miles out from a freaking drone, which you can pilot from Nebraska, sitting over anywhere in the world, and then you get an additional 6 miles on it. You're never going to shoot 6 miles. You won't ever know who shot that thing at you, and it just comes in and then it's over. What is the temperature of a Hellfire missile? I'm telling you, pick one. I mean, temperature of a Hellfire missile. Wiki military fandom. Yeah, Apache Hellfire missile vaporizes a truck. Can we even look at this? Yeah. All right. Apache Hellfire missile come on. Vaporizes a truck. Engages a suicide bomber truck with a Hellfire missile. This is 2 minutes long. All right, we're gonna do that. Look at. So these guys have already been following this guy for a minute. Yeah, you're not getting away from that tiny little marker. They're probably fucking 8 miles away from him. He doesn't even know it. He's got the radio on. He's singing My Girl. He's in the courtyard. Any day now, guys. Oh, there you go. That's it. See, you can still see the fence. See, it doesn't do a lot of, it doesn't bleed damage everywhere, but it's fucking so precise. It's like a bolt of lightning out of the blue. Look at all the people. It is what it is. What's the story behind this one? Apaches engage a suicide bomber truck with a Hellfire missile. Okay. All right. So Christopher Wray felt bad. He shouldn't have resigned or got fired. Who's Christopher Wray? Oh, so I had another I'm off on a tangent, like Faye. All right. Oh, this guy. Um, what did he do? There's no good reason FBI Director Chris Wray still has a job. See, you guys flipped out over. You look, your FBI director is supposed to be like, we can dim these. We can dim the shades on here. Your FBI director is supposed to be in office, in the job for it's a 10-year term. That's why Fynum was such a big deal, right? Comey was FBI director for like, I want to say 4 years. But normally they sit there for 10 years. They go beyond the president, or the president can fire them, but no one ever really does. Um, FBI director faces new scrutiny over investigation of Brett Kavanaugh. Wow, it's about Brett Kavanaugh. White House suggests Blasey Ford investigates him just as flawed as Larry Nassar. Wray apologized for FBI failure to stop Monster Nassar. I don't even know what to say about that. All right. Oh good Lord. Uh we don't talk about COVID because YouTube is twitchy, quite frankly. Uh hey, they found Robert Durst guilty of murder after decades of he killed well, I don't say he I want to say he killed 3 people, but 3 people are dead mysteriously around him. One of which was cut into pieces. Uh-oh. Woman arrested, fired from job after beat up her slapping Navy SEAL on 9/11 anniversary goes viral. Yes, people are fucking crazy. Well, I mean, all this energy. French scientist who promoted one of Trump's favorite coronavirus cures may soon be out of a job. Huh. People want let's say bosses. Bosses want the average guy or gal to come back to work, right? Give you bonuses, do all this. What is going on here? Uh-oh. Maybe I have to. There you go. It they want you to come back to work in these delivery jobs. Amazon just raised its price to like 18 an hour or something like that. Um, the problem here is no advancement. Like, so if I got a job at McDonald's, could I own a McDonald's franchise in like 10 years without the 250 million? You know what I mean? It's this rigged system. Oh no, it'll get better for you. You just keep working there. How do I get out of this? Once you smile and go, oh yeah, this is a job, you can almost hear the door slam behind you because you're locked into this minimum wage, low wage gig. And then you have that gig and it's hard to find another gig while you have, so this is a fucked up system that they built. And now people are like out of work. They close my this. I may have to look for that. Now people are trying to go. Maybe I should go back to college. Maybe what other options do I have? Looking hard and serious at it. Like enough people are doing that to put a serious dent in all this. Come back to work and slave in the mines for me, so I can get a bigger boat. Kind of attitude about what's going on here. Uh, Remember, they were saying people were lazy. They didn't want to work. They're living high on that free government money, right? All those people that are about to be evicted, thrown out on the street. Oh, we got a minute and a half left. All right. Uh, yeah, they're living high. What are they going to do when they kick off these? They end the um, eviction moratorium. What are they going to do? They'll just be calling the cops and throwing. They'll be all on TV crying, women with their children. It's going to be tragic. So I don't know the things they tell me. And then while all that's going on, you got crazy people who do nutty stuff like slap soldiers on 9/11. I mean, people are fucking flippy. People are ridiculous. And they don't get that way by accident, right? And I find generally that they've either been coddled and told they were extra special, and then when life gets to them, they realize that they're not extra special, and they kind of like brush against that can either be becoming an alcoholic or a drug addict or irrational and violent out of nowhere, right? I mean, people, it depends on the person. It really does. France recalls ambassador. I think that's hysterical. I hate to say it, but I mean, I think that's, we're not going to talk about this woman smacking the soldier. That's just ridiculous. Ooh, we could talk about. No, we're not going to talk about it. Excuse me. Whew, excuse me. There's a lot of stuff about movies here. Trump gives 6 month extra Secret Service protection to his kids. Three officials. It's called taxpayer 1.7 million. Here's the thing. The president kids, right? So now you're mad that he looked after his kids. 6 months extra. I don't know why. What was the reason for it? But just because he did that doesn't mean I don't know. A former R. Kelly assistant said he threatened her in these situations. People come up dead. Everybody's always got a story, but like I don't follow the R. Kelly thing either. But somebody should really have some evidence. Cameras and recorders have been around for decades. Surely you can get one of these guys on tape going, "Yo, I will kill you if you tell anybody about my relationship with that, young lady or horse or midget or whatever the fuck it is. Excuse my language, whatever the heck it is." Um, I just want to hear the evidence against him. I just don't want to hear all these women who are around him saying he did bad things to me. Surely somebody has to have evidence. 10,000 migrants are camping under a bridge between the US and Mexico. And yesterday, did you hear this story? Yesterday, they found like a 3-year-old and like a 3-month-old just in the woods. Not in the woods, but like on the Mexican border. US border. Let's put this up there. I mean, seriously, people, what are you going to do about this? A little girl and her baby brother were taken into custody by the U.S. Border Patrol agents this week after they were discovered abandoned along the U.S. Mexican border. I mean, you better know who's in this fucking country and stop giving everybody a sad tale. Some of these people are trying to fucking get away from the cartels. Some of these people are just shitbag, horrible people who did bad stuff there and don't want to go to jail there. So they're coming here. Some people want a better day, but you can't have everybody who want a better day in your country because they want a better day. That's the whole world, right? Let's say you were a house and you had enough food for you and 50 people. You did so well, right? Other people don't have any food. You have enough for 50 people. You decide to help your neighbors out and feed, you know, 15. But now let's say people just keep coming in your house and walking in, right? And staying. America, welcome. Uh, Eventually, your 50 food for 50 becomes your extra becomes under. Now you have food for 50, but you have 100 people, right? How good, not good things, but how fucking things get ruined by people not dealing with like the problems. I mean, how are you going to leave a child? Look at this. It really is outrageous. It's outrageous. She don't know her name. Oh my god, it's heartbreaking. Good lord. All right. We've been streaming for an hour and 20 minutes. We're going to continue a little longer. U.S. Border Patrol agents found a toddler and her baby brother abandoned along the Rio Grande near Eagles Pass, Texas this week in what local chief patrol agent calls a heartbreaking discovery. The agency released a photo of the children who were taken into custody but did not require medical care. A note under the infant safety care revealed the 2-year-old girl and month old boy. Both nationals of Honduras were siblings. U.S. Border Patrol said in a statement about the discovery. The agents were patrolling the border river when they happened to notice a color they would normally not see in the river and turned back to investigate. Tweeted the account of interim Del Rio Sector Chief Patrol Agent Robert N. Garcia. The border agent found the little girl dressed in pink and yellow with her shoes tied and her backpack at her side. Her brother was next to her, buckled into an infant car seat. I mean, it's heartbreaking and frustrating to know there are children being abandoned without remorse or I don't know if it's about without remorse and concern. Sometimes parents fucking do, especially they need to fix their shit, but we can't. But yeah, I feel bad. The heartbreaking frustration to know that there are children being abandoned without remorse or concern for their lives and well-being. Garcia said via Twitter as he praised the agents for their attention, making it a fucking political event. On the sector's Facebook posting about the children in abandonment, many people called it an act of desperation, as one commenter wrote. I'm not sure they have abandoned, but I'm not sure why they are abandoned. But the little girl is wearing cute clothes, has a purse, and her hair is braided beautifully. That baby looks to be covered from the sun and strapped in the car seat correctly. I bet their mom was horrified to leave them, but it's obvious they were loved. I agree with this statement. The children were taken to the Border Patrol processing facility at Uvalde, Texas. The agency did not respond to NPR's request for an update on this status because this story, before the story was published. During the summer, Garcia's predecessor as the Delray chief, Austin Scarrow, said the sector was averaging more than 1,000 migrants a day. I mean, I feel so bad for these kids. And then you break them up. He doesn't know. He goes and she remembers him because she's 6. She won't remember him. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. But I think that this whole thing is broken because people break it and they break it for money. Man, all right. It's been an hour and a half, guys. I guess this is where we end it. Wow, I don't even know what to tell you. Hold on. I will see you guys tomorrow. That story is depressing. Now I'm sad. Cause man, I've seen kids who could have made it if their parents showed a little more showed a little more, I don't know. I don't want to say care, but I mean, on the bottom, it's a shoestring and there's no safety net, and you're always, I feel bad for him. 3-month-old baby and his 5-year-old sister came up from Honduras and were abandoned there with a note. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to leave you on such a sad ending. I hope, is that closed? Yes, it is. I hope to see you tomorrow at 6:30 Saturday, and 7:30 a.m. Sunday, which is our Sunday morning show. We're here every day 6:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, and Sundays, like I said, 7:30 a.m. Come and get some. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel. I want to thank everyone who came through. Thank you, William, and everybody who watched a bit. Your time's important, and I appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one. It is Friday. Go get some of that weekend. It didn't rain today. It was nice. So hopefully it won't rain tomorrow. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Peace out.